Welcome back. This is Barry again with Cryptics ABC for All. And this is tutorial 4A, Omissions. What are omissions? Well, they simply omit some letters from some words. For example, is one I've got spelt out for you. Donates and forgives for leaving. And the answer is gives. Now, how does that all work? Well, donates is the key. Now you can see two fodders here. Now one fodder has the words or letters that are omitted from the other word. Now you can see that 4 there is taken from that 4, and what you get left over is the word gives, which is the answer. Why is that so? Well, this is what it's all about. Leaving is your omission flag, which tells you something is leaving something else. Something is taken from something else. That's what that's about. So you have two fodders, you usually have two fodders, where the fodder, one fodder has letters that are taken from the other fodder. That's how omissions work. It's something you have to understand, otherwise you won't you won't get them out. So that's the story. Of course, your answer in all these, of course, always is to go straight for a possible key. If you look at that clue and didn't pick anything up like flags and things, you could still get the answer very smartly by saying, well, we're going to try each end for the key. Donates. What's the synonym for donates? And you come up with the answer, gives. And that is by far the best way to get your answer. Find the key. Get a synonym that fits the spaces and the givens. That's the ideal. But then you really should back it up with this knowledge here, because that proves that you are right. Okay? Now, other flags are like little, short, all these things mean omission, without, some, part, leave, omit. Omissions are used quite frequently. You will see them quite frequently. Right, steps in solving cryptics. Use these when you first read the clue. And don't forget, ignore the overall meaning, whatever you do. Right, note the spaces and givens. Note the possible flags and the fodder lengths and the abbreviations. Just keep them all in your mind. But where do you start work? This is where you start work. Guess the key and a synonym to fit. Some will go straight to that. When they get very, very experienced, they'll go straight to that line there. Guess the key and synonym to fit, and they'll pick these other things up on the way through. They'll notice them. It's up to you what you do, but this is the order I suggest when you're starting. Okay, but don't forget what you are after is the key and a synonym. Okie dokie. Right, here's an example. I leave waiter to get drink. Again, what you target is the key. In passing, you look at the fact that there are 5 spaces and a given T. And you get on to the story. The story is pick the key. Do you think I would be the key? I, myself, me. I can't think of any other ones. Righto. I leave. Think that's the key? I leave. Has to be 2 words, wouldn't it? If that's your key, you have to have an I in your answer. I depart. No. Oh, I go to the other end. This is what you do. You just try. Drink. What's a drink? Beer, whiskey. Oh, of course, water. And you go straight to water. Now, look, we haven't even used our flag. We've gone straight to the answer. Water. Got it. I reckon that's it. But now you prove it. We've accepted that drink is the key. Okay. And we say, oh, if that's the key, how do you get it? There's the emission flag, which of course we saw at the start, as you would have seen, but I didn't say anything about it because I wanted to go straight to the key. Okay, there's the omission flag, and there usually are two fodders. There's one, that's the I, leaves the waiter. And if I leaves the waiter, that I is gone. What's left? Water. There it is. There it is. That's your omission. That proves that you are right. That's your confirmation. Right, next one. Sufficiently, but don't start damply. Sufficiently, but don't start damply. 5 spaces, given M. Okay, what do you think? Sufficiently, but don't start. All right, we'll do it the way I suggest. 5 spaces, don't start. Looks like to me an omission flag. Don't start. Okay, and let's see, key, sufficiently or damply. Interesting, both these possible keys are adverbs ending in ly. I would strongly suggest, therefore, that your answer, whichever one of those is the key, the answer is also going to be an adverb ending in ly. All right? What do you think? What's the synonym for sufficiently? Got it? Sufficiently? He's fed sufficiently. He is fed. Yes, he is fed amply. There it is. There's your answer. All right? So, we reckon that's the key. Of course, the other end could be the key too. It may have a synonym that fits as well. That's why you have these little flags and things to prove that you're right. And that's our job now. Is this the one? It does look like the one. It fits the spaces. It matches the given. Is it the one? Well, prove it. Don't start damply. Now, there's only one fodder here I can see. In this case, sometimes you only have one. There's it, damply. Don't start damply. If you don't start damply, that means you don't have the D. There's your omission. And so what's left is the amply. That's your omission flag. But notice that it's only one fodder in this case. And that can happen, okay? What did I comment here? I've said something of immense value, no doubt. Let's see what it is. Omission reveals the answer amply. So is it a hidden trick? Let's remember that, yes. You see, the answer is there. So the answer is actually hidden inside damply. And some people would say that's a hidden trick. I disagree, because you get to that trick by recognising that the flag is don't start, and that is an omission flag. Now, it's only semantics, I know, but to me that's an omission, and which happens to fall into a hidden, but it's omission. Okay? Of course, you wouldn't want to mention both. Mentioning both is superfluous. You wouldn't want to mention omission and hidden. That'd be crazy, taking up your space. Okay? So, righto, next one. Chose to be electrocuted, court dismissed. Well, let's see. 7 spaces and 2 givens. That's very nice of them. 7 spaces, 2 givens, an L and an E. Chose to be electrocuted. Court dismissed. I wouldn't want to take any notice of the meaning of that sentence. That'd be crazy. Well, obviously, it's a case where the meaning of the whole sentence is ridiculous. We don't want it. It doesn't mean anything to us. Chose to be electrocuted. Good Lord. Okay. Well, of course, if you have a choice of, I suppose it could happen if you have a choice of electrocution or being cut to pieces slowly, you would take electrocution. But anyway, I don't think it means it anyway. Chose to be electrocuted, court dismissed. Right, we have our spaces, we have our givens. Key, guess at a key. Chose, is that the key? Chose, or is it dismissed? Court dismissed, who knows? You've just got to try them. Court chose. All right, chose. What's that a synonym for chose? He chose a wife. He chose to go. He chose the car. He chose a piece of cake. All those things. There's lots of synonyms, no doubt. We've got meanings, but we haven't got a synonym yet. What's a synonym for chose? He chose. He chose to go a certain way. Give me a synonym. You got one? I got one. You might say, oh, yeah, it's unfair. You've done it before. Yeah, I have a while back, but I have done it. But chose. He chose. And there is a synonym for it. He chose is he elected. He chose to go a certain way. He elected to go a certain way. Okay? Well, if that's the key, we'd have to be able to prove it. Chose to be electrocuted. Court dismissed. Well, dismissed. Of course, we didn't do our usual thing of picking the flag, and there's the emission flag there. So it gives you a hint as to what's going to happen. The very fact that you see the flag there means this is the key. And that's what we should have done. This is the advantage of picking the flag as you go along, because you see that, you say, key's up here. Gives you a big start, doesn't it? Right, so court dismissed. If court is dismissed, means this is a flag. The word letters in court, dismissed from the, must be this one here, dismissed from electrocuted. So we're going to take court out of electrocuted and see what we get. 2 fodders, I reckon. 2 fodders. Okay. So if we take court out, C, they're all together, aren't they? There it is there. C-T-R-O. Is that C-O? Oh, no, it's not quite. This one here. There it is. That's what I saw. C-U. There it is there. There's your court. C-O-U-R-T. Take it out, and your answer is exactly there, elected. But it's not a hidden. Even though it's hidden there, it's not a hidden. To me, it's an omission. Again, only purely semantics. You use what you like, but I'd say it's omission. Okay, done. Next one. Sandal, Capone left. Found on beach. Sandal, Capone left. Found on beach. 4 spaces, no given. Well, you wouldn't expect a given with only 4 spaces. You'd have to be lucky. Sandal, Capone left. Found on beach. 4 spaces, no flag, no givens. Flag. How about left? How about that for an omission flag? Oh, I reckon it's a good chance. Of course, you're never going to be sure with these, but I reckon it's a good chance. Possible. Okay. If that's an omission flag, then it doesn't help you find the key, because it can go either way, can't it? It can be left from found on beach. It can be left Capone. Anyway, we'll go for the key up here. Try first. Sandal. What's a sandal? A thong, T-H-O, shoe. Is it a shoe? See, there's one that fits. Shoe. Is it right? I don't know. You could try it. Shoe. If you're going to get it out of this, left. Well, how are these photos going to work? Found on beach in Capone. Capone's L Capone, A-L. I can't see how they work. So I don't think that's going to be the photo, because I can't prove it. All right. No, sorry, I don't think it's going to be the key, because I can't prove it. Let's go down this end. Found on beach. Is that the key? I mean, you could go beach. I think found on beach, because if we're going to take this as being the flag for these 2 photos, I guess 2 photos there. I'll try this way. Just looking at the structure gives me that little hint. Found on beach. If that's the key, what's found on beach? Waves, sand. Oh, yeah, of course. Sand. Sand is found on beach. We have an answer. It fits again, which I think is much more possible, because I can see sand in there. If I omit L, which is L Capone, if I omit L from Sandal, I've got sand. There it is. All done. And this is what you have to do. You jiggle around and see what you can come up with. That's the way to do it. Okay, let's prove that's simply an omission flag. And the last one, Chair's meeting when presidents disregard New Testament. Chair's meeting when presidents disregard New Testament. 8 spaces with an E. Right, any flags? President disregard. I think that's going to be a flag. Disregard. God, no, it shouldn't say good. It's going to be. It's possible. Disregard as an omission flag. Presidents disregard New Testament. Oh, I'll have a go. We'll just have a go. Chair's meeting. You reckon that's going to be the key? Chair's meeting. Chair's meeting. If someone chairs a meeting, what does he do? If someone chairs a meeting, what does he do at the meeting? He, you've got it, haven't you? He presides. You see, he's getting his synonyms, which is your big job. Get your synonym. And you can use a dictionary if you can't think of one, or use your phone. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. No one knows all the synonyms in the English language of every word. You can't do it. There are many that are, look at some hard ones. Some of these synonyms are very vague. In fact, you'll find the answer, you'll say, how on earth could that be a synonym? I can think of one synonym for fine. Think of all the synonyms for fine. Did you think of handsome? Handsome is a synonym for fine. In a special case where you're talking about a fine-looking man, handsome. See, this is the thing. There's so many vague synonyms around. You don't know them all. You just have to look them up and find them and pick the one that fits. But try your brain first. Right, chair's meeting is presides. Let's prove it. Disregard. So I think there's 2 fodders here. Disregard. 2 fodders. There's President and New Testament. All right, I think there's 2 fodders. And one's going to be disregarding something from the other. President. Now, there's presides is there. Presides. What's disregarded? NT. Where's the NT come from? There it is there, look. There's your NT. NT, which is an abbreviation for New Testament. Or if you like, rather than abbreviation, it could also be an acronym, but there's no flag for an acronym, so I'm going to stay with abbreviation. That's what I do here anyway. Let's see what I did before. Here we go. Abbreviation, good. Okay, there it is. It's simply an omission mainly. That's the structure. Abbreviation is not a structure, it's just a thing that happens all the time. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed that one. And we now are going on to the centre trick, and that's shortly.